Is there anything you'd like to say about your time in prison? Are you in your own hell? Are you in darkness? You are.
Police removed boxes and boxes of body parts, evidence of what appears to be a psychopathic mass murder. Authorities also took out a barrel of what they think is acid. Police are reluctant to reveal exactly how many victims there might be, but knowledgeable investigators say it could be more than a half a dozen. Neighbors say the man was strange and that there was an odor coming from the apartment. However, no one suspected the accumulation of dead bodies.
And the next thing I know, I heard the police open the refrigerator door, and they said it was a dead body in there.
Police have been here all day, pulling any potential evidence from the apartment and retrieving more possible human remains from a dumpster and on the ground behind the apartment. The parts, box after box of dismembered human remains, were taken away. Now the job is to identify the victims. The pieces belong to at least 4 different people. The suspect, Jeffrey Dahmer, has admitted to 14 or 15 killings, according to police sources.
As my obsession grew, I was saving body parts, such as skulls.
The volume of evidence mounted, a huge metal pot. Police sources say there were human parts inside.
I am happy and very excited that the monster is finally dead.
I was 22 when the news of Dahmer's murders were all over my television. Growing up in Chicago, not far from Wisconsin, I heard every detail about the sick, depraved crimes of this very sick man.
Do you think you deserved your death in prison?
It haunted me then and still does today. I am going to attempt to connect to his spirit to see if he will speak about what happened to his soul. This is all part of my afterlife research that gives us clues as to what happens when we die. In this case, what happens to a depraved soul like Dahmer's?
Today we're going to try to reach the spirit of Jeffrey Dahmer. This is part 2, the second video in my serial killer series, 2 of 4. How we're going to do this is there's an interview that I put together, audio clips of Jeffrey. It's all his voice from interviews. It's going to be fed into the astral doorway here. And if we can connect with his soul, we will hear messages come through in his voice. If not, we will just hear words from the interview. I can't guarantee we're going to hear from his spirit. I previously have completed the Charles Manson session. If you missed that, I'll link that in the description below. I'll also link directly to this interview video in the description below, so anyone can listen to it and see that none of the words here will be in this session, if in fact the spirit comes through. And when I turn this dial here on the voice control, that will allow the audio to come in. If spirit's here, they will manipulate it before it comes out of the box. Tonight we try to reach the soul of Jeffrey Dahmer to see if he possibly has anything to say, any regrets from life, maybe his current situation. If he can come through, that would be pretty amazing. I would like this room and house to be surrounded with the white light of protection. I have my protection in place. I have no fear. Come on through, Jeffrey, if you can hear me. You can't come? I heard you. Go back to Huff 1. Are you in your own hell? Are you in darkness? You are.
And right off the bat, we have a verification that he is in darkness. He got a little testy with me there. Let's continue to see what else Dahmer has to say.
Do you regret the murders that you committed? Come on in. I'm in darkness. I heard that. This is kind of like an interview with your spirit. I heard you say you're in darkness. That's because you lived a dark life. Well, Jeffrey, you can speak, and we can hear you. You're ready? Has your soul learned lessons? If so, let me know. Sadness within you. So you are in a dark place. You do feel sadness. I'm supplying your old voice back to you right here in this interview. It's going into this device. You can use it. You can change that audio to form new messages. If you want to come through, come on through.
So far, Jeffrey tells me to shut up. He confirms he is in the darkness twice. Says he died. He says he is entrenched in sadness, and when he's about ready to get started, he decides he wants to go. After that, I received no more communication, but I tried again the very next morning.
All right, this is the next day. Last night I recorded that first small session trying to reach the soul of Jeffrey Dahmer. He said clearly he was in darkness. He felt sadness. He had some not so nice words in the beginning. Eat me, which Debbie reminded me that was a very popular phrase back around the time when he was around. People would say eat me, but at the same time, Jeffrey Dahmer was accused of eating some of the body parts of his victims. So that was really a creepy answer. But one thing was obvious, let me turn off my mail here, was that he's in a dark place. He doesn't sound happy. So we're going to try again to see if we can get a little more from this. I'm going to play the interview segment. Again, if you want to see the source audio, there's a link in the description below. You can watch the entire 3-minute interview. It's looped 4 times. None of what you will hear in that interview is what is in this session because the spirit changes the audio to speak. That's how it works. And as I said before, we really need to be, as an ITC community, to show the source audio going in. Every spirit box has source audio, whether it's a radio, a box like this, a copy of one of my boxes, no matter what it looks like, no matter what you're using, there's a source audio that is required, and it shouldn't be hidden. So this, I'm being transparent, as everyone should be. This is the source audio going in. And again, you can check it out, a link in the description below if you want to see for yourself what I was using. Again, we're looking to connect with the soul of serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer to see if we can gain an understanding of what happens to those on earth while we were alive who were bad people. This was a bad person. Jeffrey, you've said that you've kept the skulls and skeletons of your victims. Is there anything you'd like to say to those watching? Is there anything you'd like to say about your time in prison? Do you think you deserved your death in prison? Yes, I do. I heard that. So you understand, it seems like what you did was not right. It was wrong.
So that second part of the session was very profound. He talked of so much that he was sad. Being in prison was bad. He agreed about his death in prison. All amazing evidence that proves not only how spirits speak, but proves there is indeed an afterlife, and also proves, in my opinion, not all souls go to the light. I used my astral doorway device for this session, which is an incredible tool to connect with and reach the spirits on the other side and receive direct communication. I've been doing this for over 10 years and have dedicated my life to ITC research. I will continue this series next month with another evil serial killer to see what they say from the other side. If you enjoy this video, thumbs up and subscribe, and remember always, love is the key.